Hi everyone and welcome. This is me, Noaksey, and this is my review of Tomb of Rooms. Now, Tomb of Rooms is a game developed by a small team of indie developers called Idle Creations, who had the fortunate pleasure of meeting at Eurogamer last year. Now, to give you a bit of a rundown of exactly what to expect with Tomb of Rooms, well, Tomb of Rooms, as the name sort of says on the tin, is a Tomb of Rooms. But the way that this game works is it's a randomly generated tomb of floors. So essentially each floor is unique each time you play the game. So floor 1 right now may look a certain way. As I move up in the game, of course that then changes the next time I play the game. So each time you play it through, you get a different and slightly tweaked experience, which means that the enemies you'll come across and the creatures that you'll fight can in fact change per floor, and it can become harder or easier depending on how you look at it. Now, the one thing I will say about this game is how well the graphics have been done. How polished it is, how nice it looks, how it sounds. It does really feel like you're isolated in this tomb, especially when you're playing as a defenseless girl in the sort of earlier stages of the game. Of course, as you pick up weapons and lights and stuff, and even a few secrets here and there, the game then sort of widens a bit and makes it feel like you've got at least a chance to survive until a point where you become completely outnumbered and die a lot, which just seems to be how I end up. So, the game is actually being developed for multiplayer action. So local play will mean that you can drop in and out of this game as often as you want. Of course, you do need a second player to be involved in that. Also, you can play as single player as the guy, which would be still on the right now. However, to be able to do that, you need both controllers connected to the computer, and you need to start the game as the second player, not as the first, because the first player is the girl and will always be the girl as far as I'm aware right now, unless of course they change that in the future. The game has, for me, is really well thought out, really well produced, put together, developed game. Now, right now on this alpha stage, it is actually still free to download, and if you go to the website, you can download it absolutely free, no cost to you whatsoever. Of course, I would strongly recommend, and this is something that you can only make a decision of, I would recommend that you donate to them to help them push this game out a lot quicker, because I foresee this being a good game on the likes of Steam, and I see other people, maybe not so myself, but more famous people doing Let's Plays of this successfully. In fact, just so you're aware, in Eurogamer, this game only had a maximum level of 13 floors, which means that I found this out because two people sat together and did all 13 floors. Once they finished the game as such, they actually won something. I believe it's like a signed copy or artwork or something, I think it was, of the game. So that was really cool to find out at the time, but of course I wish it was myself, because I would have loved to have some sort of artwork given to me for doing something I'm good at, which is of course gaming. So my thoughts of the game, well, it's a hard game to play solo, but it's not impossible, especially if you roll through it like I've been. It is a very good game. Of course, it is a bit of a chore sometimes when you have to keep starting from right at the beginning and to see how far you can get, but I suppose that adds the element of challenge to this game. The fact that you don't get a save point and you can't pick off where you left off and just carry on, you have to work to get to the same point again, and each time it's different, just adds that element of you do not know what's coming around the next corner, which can entice fear into people, make people respond differently, and is a much more excitable and playable game. I would give this game right now a 6 out of 10. Now, that's not to say it's a bad game or that it doesn't deserve more, because clearly it does. It's because of the sheer fact that it's still in alpha. And if you consider 6 out of 10 in alpha, when they've still got a lot more to do to polish this game and make it a bit better, is actually quite high. I know that they're aiming to get this finished by the end of this year. Of course, they can only do that with the likes of us donated, like I said earlier. But go get the game, download it, play it, show me what you can do, show me how far you can get, even if you beat me, and tell me how you did it. But yes, totally worth getting this game, especially now while it's still free. And I would strongly recommend Tomb of Rooms as a game to play with a friend over. Anyway, there we go. That's Tomb of Rooms. I have been Noaksey. Until next time.